What's going on, YouTube? It's your boy, Spider Kel, coming back one more again with another poor man's review. Uh, I'm gonna be talking about the latest Netflix original movie that just, I guess, was released last night during the Super Bowl or after the Super Bowl. I didn't find out until one of the Super Bowl commercials. It's the latest installment of Cloverfield. Guys, I'm gonna be honest with you. I remember I remember Cloverfield 1. And I didn't know there was a Cloverfield 2 until people start saying or are calling it Cloverfield 2. But the movie that they're calling Cloverfield 2 is not necessarily called Cloverfield 2, it's called Cloverfield Lane. And that's the movie that had John Goodman and the very beautiful Mary Winstead. I hope I said her name right. Mary Winstead. Cloverfield 1, I saw when I was a kid. That was around the time where, first person view of a movie was kind of like becoming popular ever since, in my opinion, the Blair Witch Project. It's just a group of friends in New York. They're having a party, or if I can remember correctly, a going away party. I think a friend is going someplace overseas or on vacation or something. They're having a party in New York, and then shit hits the fan, and all kinds of craziness is happening. The army is involved. Nobody knows what's going on. These weird creatures start popping up, killing people. They're running through New York trying to find some kind of safe haven somewhere where all kinds of shit just it goes from bad to worse. And creatures just popping up everywhere. It looks like God. When I first saw it, I thought it was like a prequel to like a new Godzilla or something like that. That's the way they was kind of delivering everything in the first movie. And then at the very end, I believe they set off a nuke to kill that damn thing. Like I believe I have to watch. I only seen it once. I only care to see it once. So I'm really trying to remember as hard as I can, the best I can to remember to tell you what happened, just in case if you've never seen it. But I believe they set off a nuke in New York to destroy that damn thing. I know it was they launched some kind of missile at it. I feel like it was a nuke, and I might be wrong, but I remember at the end of it, like the U.S. government, man, they launched some kind of missile or shot a missile or something at it, and everything was wiped out, and that's basically how it ended. Didn't make no sense, unless you maybe like a Michael Bay fan that likes to see shit blow up and mysterious shit that don't have any kind of story behind it, don't make any sense. It's just stuff happening. The first Cloverfield, in my opinion, is the first attempt of the movie Mist. The Mist. The Mist was awesome. It was great. They don't fully in great detail explain what's going on, but enough where you get the gist, you're invested in what's going on, through the progression of the film. And I feel like Cloverfield 1 was their first attempt of the Mist before the Mist was actually even created. Because I think Cloverfield 1 came out in 2008. And then Cloverfield Lane with John Goodman. I don't know why I want to call him John Candy all the time. Cloverfield Lane with John Goodman was about this guy, this paranoid guy, this conspiracy theorist. He's taking refuge in like this bunker that he's built, and he got another guy in there with him, and the very beautiful, very talented Mary Winstead. I think she gets into a car accident, and she gets rescued by John Goodman and taken to his safe house. I don't understand how he knew she got to the accident. Like if he was already in the safe house, because he's already been in that safe house that he's built, the bunker that he built with the dude for a while now, because like the dude knows about John Goodman and his mannerism. Like the dude's kind of off, and they seem like they've been there for a minute. So, and considering how paranoid he was and how he was all over the place with his conspiracy theories, um, why would he leave his bunker? You know, like he couldn't have known that she crashed. So why do you leave the bunker? Like, why were you out of the bunker in order to see what happened to rescue Mary Winstead's character? I can't remember her name, but he rescues her. She and the other dude that was already in there, you know, is kind of kind of taken back by John Goodman's crazy character, abusive role in the movie, and they don't spare Mary Winstead. There was a point where I feel like she kind of believed the bullshit he was telling her, but then after a while, because of like just how he was behaving, she realized that he was unhinged, and it would be for the best. She just started not to believe like all the stuff he was telling her, and was like had to make up a plan to get out of there. So she ends up getting out. I think she killed. Yeah, she kills John Goodman. The other guy dies, I think, by the hand of John Goodman. I forgot how he died. Anyway, she's the last man standing. She gets out of the bunker at the very end, and everything John Goodman was telling her that was going on with the world consists within aliens. Aliens. To take it over. Blah blah blah. She didn't believe it until like the very end, where aliens attack her. When she makes it out of the bunker, she realized, oh shit, this dude was right. And aliens start to attack her, and I can't remember for the life of me how she survived that. She survived it, and I think she heard like some kind of radio broadcasting, like humans starting up some kind of resistance or something, and whoever's alive, they could take refuge to wherever they like, held up at. I feel like she heard that on the radio in a car, while she was like, fighting off that alien thing, whatever it was. And that's how that ended. And now you got Cloverfield Paradox. And I'm gonna be completely honest with you guys, man. I don't understand what they're doing with Cloverfield. Cloverfield, in my personal opinion, should have stopped from the first one. After the first Cloverfield, they should have just stopped. Like the Cloverfield Lane was boring. It has some interesting parts in it. Uh, I'm upset with myself for paying to watch it, but you don't know until you know. But it was boring. It was really boring. The only good parts in it is like like some really intense dramatic scenes while between uh, Mary Winstead and John Goodman. But other than that, like it was really dry and slow and dragging. And then you got Flashpoint Paradox, where it still consists. I'm assuming around this Flashpoint Paradox. I'm sorry, uh, Cloverfield Paradox. It still consists around the Cloverfield history or lore or whatever. Paradox. From watching it, it seems like all right. It takes place. You have astronauts. All right. There's something going on with the Earth where our energy resources, our resources, is depleting, and these astronauts are experimenting with this new. I don't know what some kind of quantum something, quantum bomb, quantum something. They're in space where they're experimenting with this device that's supposed to supply the entire planet with unlimited rich amount of power, of energy. And they're up there trying to get the machine to work. They have like this spacecraft that they've been living in for like the past 2 years, you know, um, trying to build this machine and get the machine to work. Um, Meanwhile, back on Earth, everyone is in like pandemonium. Russia and other countries are talking about, attacking. Like a war attack. I'm assuming so they can like steal whatever resources for their own people or whatever. But like, people are going crazy on Earth. And then you have, I can't remember this guy's name, but oh man, oh he played as Bullock. I think it's Bullock in Gotham. You know, Jim Gordon's buddy, his boy in Gotham. I can't remember his name, but you only see him once, like real short towards the beginning of like maybe like the first 15 minutes of the movie, and he's like a conspiracy theorist, and he's talking about what they're trying to do and how dangerous it is, and by them constantly releasing these quantum explosions or whatever it is, they're opening up wormholes or rifts in other dimensions. Which and what was really crazy about his theory was not only are like when they do this they're creating rifts in other dimensions. Those rifts can be from like a dimension from like the past. It could be dimensions from the present or from the future. Like you don't know where you're going or what's coming through at which time in this other dimension. When you're hosting these experiments and you like literally causing rips in time and space. The astronauts that's listened to this newscast, not paying it any mind, turns it off, and they set. I'm assuming they first. I forget how many experiments they did, but they did another experiment, so they can try to get this energy, this unlimited energy source, popping. They do it, and I saw it when it happened. Like when they did it and it failed, the Earth teleported. It disappeared. The Earth disappeared. They couldn't find it. And when they did find Earth, it wasn't their Earth. Like, it, guys, I'm telling you, I'm trying to explain it the best way I can. It makes no sense. I don't understand it. So all kinds of crazy shit. After they did the experiment and it failed, all kinds of crazy shit was happening. They couldn't find Earth, their Earth. Well, they couldn't find a planet, period. But they were looking for Earth, but they couldn't find a planet at all. They couldn't find Earth, nothing. And then this woman that I guess she's an astronaut of the same ship, but in a different dimension. Somehow she appears in the wall panel of the ship that they're in. Like this, all of a sudden, like they do a little dialogue. Oh shit, where's the Earth? Like people's trying to like cope with what's going on because they don't know what's going on. And then once they get their shit together, and take a moment and put their heads together, they start hearing this crazy screaming, this woman screaming or something screaming. I thought it was a monster at first. And they took out the wall panel where the screaming was coming from. And it was this woman stuck in the wires, in the walls, in the circuitry. She had like wires, three of them, thick ass wires coming through her arm. Another like going through, I think her hip or her torso or her thigh or something like she was like part of the circuitry in the walls in the spaceship. And they had to cut her out of there and pull those wires and stuff out of there, out of her body. So her name is Jensen. She was conducting the same experiment. Mind you, everyone else don't know who the fuck this lady is. They don't have no idea who she is. She just appears. After the Earth disappears, she appears in the wall of a spacecraft that they've been in for the past 2 years. They save her. Her name is Jensen. She's like part of the same spacecraft, running the same experiment for the exact same reason. But everyone deduced that they're in a different dimension. So she's trying to do it in her dimension. The main character, the main character of the movie, her name is Ava. This black chick named Ava. She's like one of the astronaut teams that's going into space to try to save the planet Earth. Her main reason for doing it is because she wants to. I think she wants to make up for the stupidity that she did, like the technology that they're using to try to supply the Earth with unlimited energy. I guess she took a device, like a very key component that would be responsible for this unlimited energy supply, and she brought it home. Tried to supply her family with the same type of energy supply, and it ends up blowing up quite literally in her face. She accidentally set her house on fire because she had this unstable, you know, device at her house, and it ends up killing her two daughters. You don't see it, but you find out, through the progression of the movie, and I guess her going into space to try to do this in her mind is some kind of like I guess addiction, her path to addiction, like she's trying to redeem, for the mistake that she made, for the good, for good reasons, but still a mistake, all nonetheless, because she lost a good half her family, her two children. Michael, which is like the baby daddy, I'm assuming they don't really state that they're married. They don't show any wedding ring or engagement rings or pictures or anything like that. But he's definitely her love interest. I don't understand why he was really in the movie. For the exception of the beginning, okay, the very beginning is these two, and they're stuck in traffic, and power outages just going crazy, and they're got a little dialogue going on. For the exception of that beginning, there's no reason for this man to be in this movie. I didn't understand why he was in the movie. So all right, back to space. They found this woman. Her name is Jensen. Jensen knows Ava. Ava don't know Jensen because there's a Ava that that's friends with Jensen in her dimension, and evidently Ava through Jensen finds out that the Ava in her world, I'm gonna stop saying dimensions. I'm gonna say Earth 1 and Earth 2. Just like in DC Comics. Earth 1, Earth 2. Um, the Ava in Earth 2, she has her daughters. Her whole family's intact. She didn't do what the Ava in Earth 1 did because she didn't make the same mistake that the Ava in Earth 1 did. You know, Jensen um Jensen's space team is the same team that Ava's team or that Ava's teamed up with. Same exact people, everything, except for the Asian chick. I think her name is Tam or something. I think her name is Tam. But there was an Asian woman, and her role on the space team in Earth One is the same role that Jensen had on the same team in Earth 2. So Jensen in Earth 2 has the exact same team for the exception of Tam and Ava because Ava's on Earth. And in Earth 1, Ava is part of the team, but Jensen's not part of the team. Ava don't even know who Jensen is, never seen him before, nothing. And and guys, like I'm telling you, I don't really fully understand like everything that took place because like after they was teleported into the Earth One space team, after they was teleported to the Earth Two dimension because they did find Earth, but it wasn't their Earth; it was Earth Two. Once they was teleported to Earth Two dimension, like weird, spooky stuff was happening on the ship. There was a character. What was his name? Mundy. I guess he was like the light comic relief or whatever of the movie. But all kinds of effed up ish was happening to Mundy. Like the ship was like haunted or something. It was doing crazy stuff. Like there was a scene where Mundy he's sealing the wall panel that they took off to rescue Jensen, and he has some kind of solution. So he's like it's like the super glue metal type solution. He's like gluing the corners right with this solution, and then out of nowhere the wall panel, it opens up a hole and it sucks in his arm, and the wherever like the hole is going, his arm is going like around that same wall panel. So I'm like, what the fuck is it doing? He's not screaming. He's not in any pain. When his teammates come, they help pull him out, but when they pull him out, his arm is gone. Like, and you can literally see the meat and the bone and everything like it's a clean cut. No blood, no pain. They can't find his arm. Like his arm is gone. And it's still the distortion where the hole is, where like the arm, the ship, was Ada's arm, where it appeared to Ada's arm. And then later on, Smith, I think he was like the Russian of the team. Schmidt, he got locked up by the commander because Jensen told the commander not to trust Schmidt because Schmidt, like, he was doing some kind of grimy shit in Jensen's dimension in Earth 2. But it wasn't the same Schmidt in Earth 1. Like, they didn't have, like, the same motives and attitudes, you know. So, but because of Jensen telling the commander that, the commander ran to Jensen, locked him up because that Jensen pulled up, or the commander somehow got access of some kind of files that Jensen told him to look up about Smith. And it was like, some kind of like a double agent type stuff, like the Smith in Earth 2 was going to betray his crew, for the sake of his own countrymen. But the Smith in Earth 1, he was like, I'm in it to win it. I'm not doing this for, just for my people or for your people. I'm doing this for all people, But you don't find that out till later. He gets locked up. The ship lets him out by himself. And then he wanders, and then he finds the arm where Mundy lost. The arm Mundy lost, and it's just like, what's that character in that old TV show, the family, or the Addams family, where the hand, is it called thing or something like that? But it was like that, Mundy's, but his whole arm was doing that, and communicating. They gave him a pen so he could communicate with them, and it wrote down, open up another crew member that died, because there was another crew member that died because somehow they had worms in this big case, a buttload of them, worms. And Monday was like, what happened to the worms after they teleported? Like, Earth 1 was teleported out. Jensen from Earth 2 was teleported in their ship, in the walls of their ship. There was documents teleported in their ship. Uh, oh, Mundy's arm teleported in another area of the ship. And the guy with the worms, all those worms somehow teleported into his body, causing him to do crazy stuff. Like, he didn't have no control of his eye. His eye was shifting from different directions. He was talking to himself like he was possessed, like, and then, like, at the end of it, like, the worms that they had exploded out of his body. I didn't understand it. I'm like, why? And I'm thinking to myself, like, what did they created some kind of teleportation device? Like, anything around them can be teleported at any place at any given time. I didn't get it. I did not get it. It did, like, and then I was thinking, like, maybe because the way it was explained is like, you got the dimension of Earth 1 and the dimension of Earth 2. Because these two opposite opposing dimensions are sharing the same universe, I don't know if they're trying to compensate and create a universe as one versus, I got this universe, I got this universe, so let's try to coexist. We can't coexist. We're the same yet different universe. So I couldn't tell if, like, those two dimensions trying to merge into one dimension, into one dimension, I guess, one universe, or the same people that exist in Earth 1 also exist in Earth 2, but differently, and the two dimensions were trying to compensate. Like, Mundy losing his arm, maybe Mundy Earth 2 was born without an arm. Because the doc at Earth 1, asked him, does it hurt? He's like, nah, I don't hurt at all, no pain. And he was like, it's crazy because, like, your arm is decapitated as if you never had one. And the guy Monday was like, well, we all know, I was born with an arm. Like, I spent 2 years with you guys with both of my arms. So I don't I don't understand. It's just a lot of craziness going on. It's just craziness going on. They don't show you anything about aliens or monsters. You don't see anything. They don't even tell you or say anything about aliens or monsters. It's just these astronauts on the ship, and Mundy is getting literally he's getting his ass handed to him by this ship. That solution, that metal solution mess that he like fixed the wall with earlier, something happens where they try to help Jensen get back to her world, and that solution and other stuff, like it goes after Mundy and it grabs him like a like Venom alien symbiote type shit, grabs him and it's all in his mouth and his eyes and his body, and it caused an explosion in the area where he was in, so he's dead. You know, the ship ain't bothered, and the ship only terrorizing Mundy, like as like a haunted house. It was haunted, like, you know, but it only attacked Mundy and Tam. Like the room, the deck that she was in, it flooded with water out of nowhere. And like the water pressure from the room, like it was so strong that it forced open a door latch that led out into space. And when the door latch opened, it froze up the whole room like instantly. So technically, in my opinion, she's alive. She got the Captain America syndrome right now. She just frozen in ice. So she's alive. Jensen, she ends up trying to kill everyone on the ship to save her dimension. Like she wants the technology, she wants the ship, you know, and she wants to reenact the experiment so she could be teleported back on her world and she could save her people, her planet. Ava ends up stopping her. And Ava and Smith, because they're the last two alive on the ship, they end up getting the device that they've been working on for years to work. So now it works. You know, Earth has, you know, an endless supply of energy. So they jump on this escape pod to, you know, shoot themselves back to Earth. And then they show Michael, Ava's husband, or whatever he is to her. He got this random white girl that, you know, he came across, like she needed help. She was screaming for no reason, you know, at a particular place, you know, and he rescues her and brings her with her. You know, she also didn't need to be in the movie because like you don't see her enough and you don't hear enough about her story to develop any kind of relationship with her character. So, but at the end, Michael gets a call from, you know, I guess NASA or a friend from NASA saying that they found Ava and the crew. The experiment worked. You know, she's on her way back to Earth. He's like, "What do you mean she's on her way back to Earth? You didn't tell her what was going on?" He like, there was no. The guy was like, "There was no time to tell her what was going on. Like you should call her back and tell her not to come. Call her back, not tell her not to come." Okay. Then he says, "You know, you didn't tell her about the monsters or whatever like that." He's like, "There was no time for any of that." So Ava was already on her way. Her and Smith, and they show them in the ship. You know, they coming. They're already through Earth's atmosphere. You know, they're on their way, and like there's like a sea of clouds. Like they're in the sky, and there's a sea of clouds, and you can see their ship in a distance. You know, still going out, going down, going down, going down. And then it goes into the clouds, into the sea of clouds, and then out of nowhere, this huge cousin of Godzilla bursts out of the clouds, roaring, and that's the only monster, that's the only beast, whatever you see throughout the whole movie, is in that last minute of the movie. The last minute of the movie, and I'm trying to understand, like, you know, I'm just trying to understand. I don't get it. Like when they created that wormhole or that rip, and it was in Earth 2. Did Earth 2 have beasts and monsters or what have you? And they traveled through the rip into Earth 1, but they never state anything about monsters or aliens or anything like that existed in Earth 2. In Earth 2, humans are killing each other over, you know, over the whole lack of resources and everything like that. You know, this war, a world war all over Earth 2, you know, because of the lack of resources. They don't say anything about monsters and stuff like that. And then at the very end, you know, Michael reveal like, you know, call her back, tell her not to come, you know, the monsters ain't. there's monsters all over the place. And then you see that big ass Godzilla looking dude. I'm telling you, the dude is big, man. I wouldn't have came back to Earth either if I'd known that. Like the dude is so big. He is so. He almost looked like the size of whatever state he was on. Like it was just too big. He was it was a little, it was outrageous. It was too big. But yeah, that's how it ends. And I just don't understand the whole lore behind Cloverfield. Like okay, I get it at part one. Alien attack. We can't really see them, but something is attacking the Earth. And it originates in New York. Cloverfield Lane, which is considered Cloverfield 2, it's kind of the same thing. Like the continuation, in my opinion, of part one. You just got the viewpoint of Mary Winstead that's stuck in this bunker with this crazy ass conspiracy theorist guy, and she has to get out. And comes to find out, like there are aliens or monsters on Earth. He was right, So I kind of consider that, a continuation. Now that I'm hearing that they're calling it Cloverfield 2. And Cloverfield 3, I honestly don't understand. Honestly, I don't understand. I will say this: it's Cloverfield Paradox is better than Cloverfield Lane and Cloverfield Part One. As far as entertainment goes, but that's not really saying a lot. Cause Cloverfield Lane, on a rating of 1 to 10, I would give it a 3. Cloverfield Lane, I would give a 4, and I give Cloverfield Paradox. I want to say a 6, but I feel like a 6 might be too. I give it a 5. I give it a 5. I give it a 5. 3, 4, and 5, all the way like solid. You know, you, like if you have nothing better to do, maybe if you're sick or something, and you just happen to stumble upon it on Netflix, give it a look. But don't pay to see it. If you have something better that you want to watch, don't try to kill yourself. Watch this movie, because it's all over the place. Oh man, I can't remember her name. The woman that plays Ava, guys, find out for me and let me know in the comment section. The woman that plays Ava in the movie, isn't that the woman that's like the mother of dragons from Game of Thrones? Her right hand chick, like the fine black chick that's like her advisor or her like right hand to Daenerys. Is that her name? Daenerys, the mother of dragons? Yeah, like the black chick that was like liberated from the mother of dragons. I'm pretty confident that's her. The star role of Paradox, Ava, is the chick from Game of Thrones. Beautiful, beautiful woman. But I believe that's her. Let me guys, please let me know in the comment section below if that's really her, because I really want to find out if that's her, because she's really. It's good to see her branching out and doing other things. It sucks that she did this, because this movie sucked and it makes no sense because they're splicing the first two Cloverfield movies in with this one. So I explain it to me, guys. I don't know. Like it's so many theories and questions, and like it's just I don't know. But yeah, that's my review. I give it a 5 out of 10. If you don't watch the movie, don't beat yourself up about it because the movie is not great. All right. Sorry for the long review, fellas. I'll holler at you guys later. All right. Peace out.